find you on LinkedIn?
I do it on purpose. Whatever I've achieved in my corporate life or Instagram life is all thanks to the guidance of my dad. I'll go with my dad's name, so I kept it as Nilufar Yuldash. Instagram is a full-time job.
Why do you say that?
Shooting content, time-consuming. The shortest real video for 20 seconds, you will spend at least 1 hour to create it. I believe in stability, in consistency. Everything in my life is like a journey.
You're the same person online as well as offline, which is really inspirational because sometimes people get lost in social media. You pretend to be somebody you look up to. That's not sustainable. Welcome to Women of Wonder by Reema Mahajan, or WOW Women as we lovingly call it. This is our initiative to bring to you stories of inspirational, empowered and ambitious women so that we can all learn from their journeys. My guest today is a very special person. A lot of us already follow her. I've been following her journey for the last couple of months and she's such an inspiration. She's a proud mommy. She's also a fashion, lifestyle, fun and parenting influencer, and she shares all her tips through her journey as she goes through it. Welcome to the show, Nilufar.
Thank you.
My pleasure to have you here today.
Same here.
Nilufar, it's really interesting that you are a single mommy. You are into a full-time corporate job. You do amazing content creation. So let's start with the content creation journey. How did that come into being? How did you land in the world of Instagram influencing?
It started 7.5 years ago. I was a mom and I had friends who were new moms as well. And they used to ask for advices, suggestions, because their children were younger. So I would share my experience. And one day, one of my friends, Nada, she told me, why don't you start Instagram influencing thing? And I was like, why, how? And then when I started, I wasn't even following any of the influencers. So I was in my own bubble with my private account. And I used to share a lot of pictures and I used to share a lot of experiences and new things we had. And then I started researching. I'm like, why not? I do it all the time.
Yes.
To my little community of relatives and friends. Why don't I extend it? That's how I started. And it was mainly with blog posting. I had a website where I would share everything, what I do, how I did, mainly about parenting, raising a kid. And at that point, I was still married. And I would share more of our family. And it was always everything at once. Basically, the lifestyle in Dubai. How you take care of a kid, how you travel with a kid, how you choose the nurseries and etc. And by time I became a single mom and I wasn't publicizing it. I didn't publicize it for a year.
Wow, so people did not know.
Nobody.
For a year.
Yeah. They've noticed that I stopped sharing my ex-husband on Instagram. Those days there were no stories, so it was only posting. So they thought maybe he's shy. So I stayed cheerful. I would attend events. I would see people. I would do giveaways. I would host my own events. And people couldn't even think that I went horrible days.
Yes.
And I'm handling all alone with so many issues that I faced. And I think at that point I had a boom. I was attending an event dedicated for strong women during the cancer month. So
October is
October
breast
month,
cancer awareness
pink
month.
month. And I was one of the speakers where I was comfortable enough at that point after a year to share my journey of becoming a single mom.
Right.
That's where it all went up. I received a flow of new followers. All the women, they started sharing with each other. It went everywhere. So they're like, how come you were so cheerful?
You're an amazing example of a woman who fought it all, still remained cheerful on social media. So you decided only to share the positive moments on social media?
I do read a lot of things like how Instagram is very deceiving. You only see the nice moments, the positive sides, and etc. I do understand that point, but at the end of the day, how I perceive is we have so many difficulties in life. We face issues, challenges on daily basis. And then if If you remember back days, we all relied on TV for something to escape.
Yes.
Even before, we would rely on books, let's say.
Yes.
You would just go read someone's story of romance or happiness, and you would disappear in that. And it kind of helped you to overcome your challenges.
Yes.
So for me, why would I take Instagram into negativity? Even I see so many Instagram pages where they try to bring parenting in a negative way. They keep saying how difficult it is. For me, there are so many positive sides in life, in parenting, in lifestyle, living in Dubai. Yes, it has difficult sides of it, but then there are so many positive things. I believe, from my perspective, if you focus more on positivity, you will be taking those challenges easier.
Yeah.
And then also, if I share it on Instagram and say I only share the positive sides, and then someone who's currently facing the difficulties will look at me and say, okay, she's a single mom, she works in a corporate, and she is doing this Instagram. I'm sure she has some difficulties, but she's still staying cheerful. Okay, so I should also keep up my mood, and I should also try. And then I think that person will feel more comfortable to look at her or his situation in a more positive way, which will help to overcome. That's my perspective. That's why I try to focus on positive sides.
Yes, that's really inspirational, honestly, Nilufar, because social media is what you create out of it, and all of us have stressful lives. That's the reality of everybody's life. We're all managing kids, house, family, everything going on in parallel, right? I mean, just like you, I go to social media for inspiration, for fun, and for positivity. So I love the dose of positivity that you spread around. Moving on to parenting, you have a very young and dashing son, Cameron.
Very
And I love the content that you create with him. And he's a little superstar in himself, isn't it? So how does he take to coming on Instagram and being the star of the show sometimes?
We have our moments.
Yes.
Yes. I've started when he was only 1.5 years old.
Yes.
And he was even more popular back then because he would come on the covers of the magazines.
Yeah.
And he's so used to having cameras around and everything. And now he's way older, and he's been living in this for 7.5 years.
Yes.
So it became his normal reality.
Yes.
It's so common. This is our life. There were moments, believe me, and I'll be very open about it. Like if we travel, we have a staycation and it's paid or sponsored.
Yes.
And he would be like, I came here to relax. Why am I taking a picture? Why do you keep taking pictures? And I was very transparent with him.
Yes.
Listen, I cannot afford what we are getting. And we are getting this. You can never have anything free in life. You have to pay one way or other. Some people pay it with money. Some people pay it with pictures. And that's me. You want it. You want to have fun. You want to enjoy these moments with me. Then you have to learn to pay for it. And I know many people might judge, like, why are you having these topics with he was only 7 when I had, because I was very tired of begging him, like, let's take a picture. And you know how kids are, like, purposely they won't smile. They'll
have the naughty look.
They'll ruin the picture. Then I had to, like, sit down and speak as an adult to an adult.
Wow. I mean, but that's really interesting that you're showing the reality to a 7-year-old, that this is how these lovely staycations come along, because we are popular for our pictures, right? And does he get asked in the class every day, where are you going next?
Not in the class. Is mainly when we go out together and everything. So people ask him, whoever meets him knows a lot about him. Before, he would be like surprised. How do you know? How do you know? Now, he gets annoyed that someone doesn't follow him or doesn't know. So he's like, how come you don't know about it? You don't watch my mom?
Go follow us on Instagram.
It goes that way.
Yes.
In school, he is very cheerful. In general, he is the most cheerful, one of the most cheerful kids in the world.
Right.
So he has his own society. He's friends with everyone. Whether it's a grade KG2 and grade 9, we will be walking in the mall. He'll stop some teenagers. Hey, how are you? Who is that? It's my friend from school. So he knows everyone at school. He doesn't need my help with that. But then he had also his star moment where he's been to Virgin Radio with Chris Fade.
Yes, I did see that. I did see that. It was
And
amazing.
most of people seen that or heard and everything. So when he entered the school, people started like, "Oh, you've been to Virgin Radio." Even the ones who don't know him, "Are
Yes.
you the boy from Virgin Radio, from the radio
Amazing.
station?" So he was so proud of this. He's like, "Imagine I was walking and everyone was stopping." Yeah, he had these moments.
So now he's more Instagram ready than after Chris Fade.
He is. 2 years ago, it was a bit difficult,
Yes.
like to convince. But after my conversation,
Yes.
he's like, when we go somewhere, he's like, "Do we need to arrange pictures? Let's do it now." I'm like, no, it's okay. I paid for it. We can. He's like,
Yes.
"Oh, okay, but let me know if you need. I don't mind."
Brilliant. I think that this is a reality, right? How quickly kids grow up, and when you talk to them, because I have an 8-year-old,
Yes.
so we've had similar conversations around why mommy has to go to work, why do I have to dress up and turn up at work, sometimes when it clashes with other things that they might be doing. And I was like, mommy has to go to job because all the luxuries that you enjoy in life, all the places, wonderful places that you go to, it happens because mommy works. And it's very interesting how my 8-year-old understands. And now looking at that, my 4-year-old also understands that this is the reality of life. You create amazing content, first of all.
Thank you.
Let me compliment you for that. But how did you learn content creation?
I never think. This is my personality. I don't even, the same thing at work, the same
Right.
thing in my life.
Yes.
When the thing is there, I suddenly start thinking.
Right.
The creativity
Yes.
flows. If I sit down a couple of days before and force myself to think about it, I will have zero in my head.
Okay.
So even whether it's a staycation or a product or anything, when everything is set
Yes.
and we are about to start,
Yes.
I look at the hotel, at the place or a product. Then suddenly the creativity wakes up.
Right.
And then it's always very
So it's
spontaneous.
go with the flow, is it?
With the flow, yes.
And not like have tons of scripts ready for,
No.
creating or something. So just go with the flow, whatever you see.
Yes.
Amazing.
And I actually have a manager who manages all the paperwork,
Yes.
the hard times, let's
Yes.
say.
Yes.
So whenever I receive a script,
yes.
like detailed, usually, of course, we receive a briefing saying
Yes.
like what to focus on and
Of course.
etc. The rest is up to me.
Yes.
But then when I receive a script that guides me what to say, how to say, I tell her no. Please go back and say, it's my page. I do it the way I want it. Because at the end of the day, I have people trusting me. If they don't see the authenticity,
Yes.
people are very smart. They can feel and they can spot in 2 seconds. I have followers who follow me for 7 years.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yes.
so
And
I
I
have
think they
to-
stay with you in the journey because you are authentic and you present your day as it is, and instead of, just showing the good sides or like just sometimes it's a busy day, sometimes it's a stressful day.
Yes.
Sometimes I see you telling me I'm going from a football class to a chess class.
Yes.
Isn't it, right?
I post that I'm like all in one. Driver, PA, banker, like what else do you want?
I'm a one-woman army, basically. That's very interesting. And do you edit your own videos?
It depends. Nowadays, they want that clear, high-quality content so they can reshare and
Yeah.
in their pages. So when the budget allows and they request for the videographer, definitely I have 2 videographers, the freelancers, that whoever is free, I'm very flexible.
Yeah.
Are you free? Okay. You're free? Okay. If you're both not free, they even help me to find among their community. But I was surprised. One of the clients reached out to us and shared a couple of videos from my page. And she asked if we can do something similar.
Right.
And all the options were the ones I created myself. And I'm like, yeah, I can do it tomorrow.
It's even easier.
Yes.
So you've done a ton of projects by now, right? You've worked with all sort of brands, whether it's lifestyle, it's parenting. Which one has been your favorite project so far that you will remember all your life?
Oh, it will be so unfair if and
Too many of them?
too many.
Too many. Let's pick a
And
few.
the thing is, I'm very also, again, to keep up with my authenticity, I don't work with brands if I don't believe.
Do you say no to a lot of money sometimes?
I do. There
Yeah?
were moments.
Is it hard?
I was just sharing. There were times that I had to say no because I completely disagree with the culture or the product of the
Right.
brand. And there were times because of my corporate job,
Yes.
I had to say no because the clash of interest or
Yes.
the clash of timings, the work hours.
Right.
So I do often say no to
Yes.
certain brands, but then we explain the reason.
Yes.
We
Makes
always
sense.
make sure, and I can be very blunt. I can say there were times one brand was chasing me over emails through different PRs, over social media.
Right.
And I told them, no, I'm not going with this brand because you guys use this ingredients,
Right.
and this is not good for the baby.
Okay, interesting. Saying no comes as a part of this influencing job, isn't it? Because people follow you for authenticity, people follow you for recommendations.
Yes.
And most of the time, they will trust your recommendations blindly. That Nilufar has used this for her baby, so it must be the right product.
True.
Amazing. Let me talk about your corporate journey. When we were researching about you, we didn't find you on LinkedIn. What's happening there? Why don't we find you on LinkedIn?
Yes, many people say that. I do it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So you find my name on Instagram as Nilufar Yuldash.
Yeah.
Nilufar is my first name and Yuldash is my father's name.
Mm-hmm.
My father passed away when I was 18. And my father has a big influence in my business mindset. So I work hard. Whatever I've achieved in my corporate life or Instagram life is all thanks to the guidance of my dad.
Right.
During my teenager age, my brother left abroad and I was the closest one to my dad, and he
Right.
taught me a lot when it comes to business. So I always have that connection with my dad, and obviously he's my dad, and I want to like somehow keep him
Yeah.
within me, within my son. And so I decided, okay, I'll go with my dad's name. So I kept it as Nilufar Yuldash.
Right.
Yes,
But-
but my surname, I have long name and long surname. So
Yes.
my surname is different. I have two surnames, before marriage and after marriage.
Yes.
I'm still with the one after marriage, although I'm
Right.
divorced. Because it's in my passport, in all my documents, I have to go with it. Even
Yes.
my campaigns contracts, they
Yes.
go with my surname.
Right.
And they specify that my account name is different.
Right.
So that's how I segregate my serious work and my hobby.
But Instagram is much more than a hobby, right? Because you are doing some serious influencing out there, isn't it?
Instagram is a full-time job.
Why do you say that?
You must attend events to show your presence, and so people don't forget, brands
Yes.
don't forget.
Yes.
You have to catch up with the events. You have to make sure that you capture all these new places, and then shooting content
Yes.
is time-consuming. The shortest reel video for 20 seconds, you will spend at least 1 hour
Yes.
to create it. I'm not talking about the makeup part, dressing up part, putting
Yes.
the hair up.
And also the trends keep on changing, don't they?
Trends
you have to
do
keep
change,
up.
yes.
Yeah. So like Reels is new and it's blending, but I'm sure you must have started with an era where posts were the main thing, right? So everybody was falling on posts. Then stories came, then Reels
Yes,
came, and you are keeping up with all of this very beautifully, I would say. But yeah, it is a learning on the curve, isn't it?
The stories are my favorite. If you remember, there was a period the Snapchat
Yes.
was on.
Yes.
That was the time Instagram was losing me. Then Instagram launched the stories, and that's how they captured me. If I
That's how they
Yes.
got you back.
Yes, because I believe in stability, in consistency, and I believe in like a journey. So
Right.
everything in my life is like a journey. Like no matter how small it is and
Yes.
how big it is, the way my brain thinks, if I just post a content and don't show what is it linked to or how it came,
Yes.
like it's confusing. So I need to always share the story behind.
Right.
So like I cannot be like posting how successful I am. Look at me, I'm in Maldives. Look at me, I am here, and nobody knows how I live.
I think I love the fact that you show the real you.
Yes.
And talking to you and following you on Instagram, when I met you, I felt I knew you because I just follow you on Instagram and you're the same person online as well as offline today. So I
Yes,
think that's
thank you.
that's the real you, which is really inspirational because I think sometimes people get lost in social media and
do.
then you do not show the real you and you pretend not to be yourself and pretend to be somebody you look up to or you like. But that's not sustainable. You can do it for a month, 2 months, and then I think you get lost in that journey. So that's really interesting. One more thing I learned about you, Nilufar, is you love Bollywood.
Oh, yes.
So tell me more about what you like about Bollywood.
Oh my God, everything. I try to not miss all these big movies with big names.
Yes. Who's your favorite actor?
I have a couple of favorites.
Yeah.
Sunil Shetty.
Oh, he's great. I think he's a great actor.
Yes. I think his looks caught my eye.
The seriousness in his looks.
Yes, yes. And I think people get confused because he played a lot of negative roles.
He has a lot of depth in his eyes, right? So like the way he will look at you on the screen.
Yes, exactly. I like Sunil Shetty. I like Hrithik Roshan, which is completely not my type. I like more like dark hair, Sunil Shetty or John Abraham.
Right. Yeah. And you did see Pathaan, didn't you?
Definitely.
You like-
I was
you
like
like-
messaging all my friends who watch Bollywood.
Yes.
Can we go and watch? Can we, like, I literally chased my friends to
Yes.
watch, like, the movie as soon as it's on.
Amazing.
I loved it.
And you liked John Abraham more than Shah Rukh Khan on there.
Yes, I do.
Well, very few will agree, but yes.
I don't know why I like negative roles, but it's not about the role. It's about, like, how they play it, how well they showcase it.
Thank you for that. And we'll now move on to one of my favorite rounds. This is what we call the rapid fire round. And we do have a hamper at the end of it, so don't worry. But this is what I call direct dil se. So, whatever comes to your heart at the first instant I say something, you don't need to think about the answer that much. So, Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Fashion or lifestyle content?
Lifestyle.
Dubai or Uzbekistan?
Dubai.
HR or influencer?
HR.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Roller skating or cycling?
Cycling.
Freckles or no freckles?
No freckles.
Pink Himalayan salt or regular salt?
Pink Himalayas. Definitely.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Books or podcasts?
Books.
And the last one, sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sunrise. Are you an early morning person?
I'm not. I am not, but I am.
But you would prefer to catch the sunrise?
Yes. My mom used to wake up very early, and she wakes up at 5 until now. And she woke us up by 6.
Right.
So
6
whether
is early,
we
yeah,
like
that's
it,
a school day, right? So yeah.
In our country, school starts at 8, so and it's like after 2 steps is at school.
Right.
But it didn't make sense to wake up at 6, but she made us wake up at 6, and it became a habit. So now I wake up at 6.
Yeah. And do you have a long day? What time do you sleep in the night?
My goal is to go to bed at 10, but it rarely happens.
That's not the reality, I bet.
And I try to the way people ask me, how do you manage?
Yes.
I try, because apart from my heavy lifestyle, I also go to gym. I don't miss my gym days. And the reason behind is because I structure my life.
How do you do that?
Time management.
What are your
Prioritize.
favorite tips for time management? How do you go about it?
What I do is I know my routine. At least the minimum 1 week in advance. I know what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Usually it's 2 weeks in advance.
Yes.
And I have my routine, like work, school, and everything. So I know in my head the full plan for a week.
Yes.
So I put as an agenda in my head, I have to wake up at 6, I have to go to bed at 10, maximum 10:30. And then there are my cheat days where I have to go out with my friends or a restaurant.
Yes.
So I go to bed later.
Right.
And then I take a responsibility for my action. I make sure that I stick to my timing. I wake up at 6, even if I went to bed at 2.
Right.
It's like kind of a punishment for me. I never learned the lesson. I continue doing that.
Interesting. What's your words of advice for women out there who are working hard, want to make it big, and probably just starting over their lives? personal lives and professional lives. What would you say to a younger Nilufar?
I would say to be yourself. In this life, most of people are losing their authenticity due to many reasons. It can be as simple as culture. I come from a country where people are very traditional,
Right.
and everything is based on a culture. You have to do this, you have to do that. Now I have to marry and have another kid.
Yeah.
So I tell my mom, like, why do I have to? Like, do I owe
Do you
somebody?
ask a lot of questions?
Is someone knocking my door saying, like, why do I have to?
Yes.
Like, I don't have to. I don't own anything to anyone.
Right.
That's me. I'm enjoying my life. I have a son. I did my duties. I followed your culture, which I appreciate. I have nothing bad against the culture, tradition, religion. I just don't follow it. I just accepted who I am and I live with it. If you accept it, come and enjoy my life with me.
Fair
If you
enough.
don't accept it,
Yes.
sorry, enjoy your life.
Yes.
So I think it's very important to understand who you are, accept who you are, and live with it.
Yeah. And how's your mom's reaction been? Because it must have been a bit of a culture change, right, for her to transition from the life back in Uzbekistan to now in Dubai. And how's she liking it?
She has great patience and she's very resilient, but she has, I think, clash of personalities herself. Because,
Okay.
she raised that in a very open-minded way.
Right.
Like, we went to Russian schools, we dressed up openly. She made us learn the languages. I was 10. She didn't send me to a summer camp because I had to, I'm a big girl now. I had to take English courses.
Right.
So she did all of this, and now she kind of has no say. So I'm like, why would you create open-minded children if you're going to limit them later or argue with them later? This
Right.
is how you raised us. This is how you allowed us to be. And okay, we crossed the lines that you had in your mind, but that's how you gave us a chance. We took it. And because in time, my brother lives in America, my sister lives in a couple of countries, my younger one there and here.
You're like a global family right now. Yes.
But I'm the one who crossed all the lines, so I got divorced.
You're the rebellious one. We always face these issues of societal pressures, right? This is the way you're supposed to behave. This is the age you're supposed to get married, and we found a nice guy for you. Go get married and all of that, and then live in that life of sometimes a life of misery if you're not happy. But that's amazing how you've rebelled with your mom, and I think now she'll get comfortable with the real you.
I told my mom, look, how you wanted to protect me from not having a husband.
Yes.
I don't have a husband at the end of the day. And at least if you let me become a lawyer or a doctor, would not have a husband, but I would be so rich. So after all these arguments, she just I know within her, she's like, what did I create?
That's an interesting story which I did not know, despite following you for a long time. So it's very interesting to know that. But what's coming next?
I'm very spontaneous. I don't plan.
You don't plan?
I have two personalities. If you see me at work, if you see me working for Instagram or in the office, you will find me very organized, very structured.
Yes.
And I plan ahead into details.
Yes.
Like now I was planning my son's birthday and people message me, oh, was it allowed to do this way? Because the planning I go to, or when it was my wedding, I handed over a paper to my brother where it had timing and the
Timing
locations.
of entry and the song and the location.
No. It was each person, each important family member of mine had a paper that said where to be at what exact time.
Oh, brilliant. That's a level of organization.
That's my level of organization. When my brother said, I believe even Prince Charles' wedding wasn't this organized.
Yes, I am sure.
I have this very, very organized side in me. And then the contradicting, super spontaneous, very adventurous, very going by a flow personality, and also on spot. Everything is on spot. So I can never tell you what's next.
What's next?
I'll
Yeah.
just go by flow. Okay?
We'll have to watch you.
What God gives me, what life offers me.
Yes.
If I see it's beneficial for me, I'm gonna take it.
Brilliant. An amazing conversation.
Thank you.
I think I loved getting to know you more. Right from go with the flow, Nilufar, to a more organized Nilufar. These are completely two different aspects of a personality, but I think you carry both of them really, really well.
Thank you.
We have a little Women of Wonder hamper, which we give to all our empowered and ambitious women.
Thank you.
It's been a lovely journey and loving to know more about you. You are the woman who goes with the flow, but also is very organized. So 2 types of Nilufars that we got to know today. It's a wonderful conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.